The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses mounting heights for both panel boards and disconnect switches to ensure safety and accessibility. NEC Section 225.20 covers the mounting height for panel boards. It states that panel boards shall be mounted in cabinets or enclosures and must be securely fastened in place. There are different height requirements depending on the amperage and voltage of the panel board. For panel boards rated over 200 amps, or where the voltage exceeds 250 volts, the code stipulates that the bottom of the enclosure must not be less than 18 inches from the floor or working platform. This lower mounting height for larger panel boards allows for easier access to the main overcurrent protection device, and it facilitates the dissipation of heat that can be generated by the equipment. However, for all other panel boards, meaning those rated 200 amps or less and operating at 250 volts or less, the NEC requires the bottom of the enclosure to be mounted no less than 6 feet from the floor or working platform. This higher mounting height is intended to prevent accidental contact with live parts and to protect the panel board from physical damage. It also helps ensure that the panel board remains accessible to qualified personnel while keeping it out of reach of unauthorized individuals. It is important to remember that these are minimum mounting heights, and in some situations, it may be necessary to mount the panel board higher to comply with other code requirements or to address specific site conditions. For example, if the panel board is located in an area where there is a risk of flooding, it should be mounted high enough to protect it from water damage. It is also worth noting that the NEC defines a working platform as a level area that provides a safe and stable surface for personnel to stand on while working on electrical equipment. The working platform must be large enough to allow the person to perform the work safely and effectively. Now let's shift the focus to disconnect switches. NEC Section 408.20 addresses the mounting height for disconnect switches. This section mandates that disconnect switches be mounted in an accessible location not less than 6 feet from the floor or working platform. The purpose of this requirement is to ensure that disconnect switches are readily accessible to qualified personnel for operation and maintenance while minimizing the risk of accidental operation by unauthorized individuals. Accessibility is a key consideration when determining the mounting height of a disconnect switch. The switch must be located where it can be easily reached and operated by qualified personnel without the need for ladders or other special equipment. The 6-foot minimum mounting height helps to achieve this goal while also providing a degree of protection against accidental contact. It's crucial to understand the definition of accessible in the context of the NEC. Accessible, as applied to electrical equipment, signifies that the equipment is not permanently closed in by the structure or finish of the building and is capable of being reached quickly for operation renewal or inspections without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to actions such as to use tools, to climb over or remove obstacles, or to resort to portable ladders, and so forth. This definition highlights the importance of maintaining clear and unobstructed access to disconnect switches. Several factors must be taken into account when determining the appropriate mounting height for disconnect switches. These factors include the physical layout of the installation, the presence of any obstructions, and the height of the personnel who will be operating the switches. In some cases, it may be necessary to mount the switch higher than 6 feet to ensure adequate accessibility. However, it is important to avoid mounting the switch too high, as this could make it difficult to reach and operate safely. Furthermore, it is important to consider the type of disconnect switch being installed. Some disconnect switches are designed to be operated from the floor, while others require the operator to reach up to the handle. The mounting height should be chosen to suit the specific type of switch being used. In addition to the mounting height requirements, the NEC also includes other requirements for the installation of disconnect switches. For example, the code requires that disconnect switches be clearly labeled to indicate the equipment they control. The labels must be durable and legible, and they must be securely attached to the switch enclosure. The NEC also requires that disconnect switches be readily accessible and located in a safe place. The switch must be protected from physical damage and must be located away from any potential hazards, such as flammable materials or corrosive substances. Compliance with these requirements is essential to ensure the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. In summary, the NEC specifies minimum mounting heights for both panel boards and disconnect switches. For panel boards, the minimum height depends on the amperage and voltage of the panel board, while for disconnect switches, the minimum height is 6 feet from the floor or working platform. These requirements are designed to ensure safety, accessibility, and ease of maintenance.